Good morning. Happy Tuesday here from sunny again, San Diego. I am Andrea Kuchin. This is myhomebiz.tips, where my mission is to inspire, empower, and support home-based business owners. So that if you're not working from home, or if you're thinking about working from home, or you're wondering whether it might be possible, you can find, create, and scale the business of your dreams without sacrificing your family or your sanity, which is a big one. Anyway, so today we are still talking about the value of things. And last week I talked about the value of habits and routines. Now, when I talk about the value of something, what I mean is generally in everyday life, just getting on with our daily lives, we forget how important certain things are. We kind of know in the back of our minds, somebody said at some point that they were fairly important, but we don't really get how important they are. And this value series came out of nowhere. It wasn't planned. It just came out of a conversation I had in a Facebook group at some point, and it grew from there. So I am thinking of things that we know are important, but we forget how really, really important they are, and we don't respond to them as we should, or keep track of them as we should, or work with them as we should, because, and we've talked about bad habits as well, it's easy to make excuses. It's easy to let other things get in the way. All those things are really easy. Now, right through everything that I do when I work with my clients, what we do is we sit down and we look at what the business is and what the business has to produce. Sorry, I'm just moving a couple of things so my pup can sit with me. What we can produce, right? What it needs to generate in terms of income and in terms of the amount of time that's allocated to it, the amount of time that's not allocated to it. In other words, we want a bit of freedom in our lives, right? We don't want to be working, stuck at our computers all the time. We want to be able to spend time with our kids, or work on our hobbies, or do something else. Or if we're still employed and we're transitioning, then we want to be able to do our proper job, do our day job, and not have our business, our home business, go kafooey while we're doing that, right? Okay, so last week I talked about habits and routines. What I was talking about was finding out or setting up the habits that you need to be doing in order to grow your business. I talked about that a little bit in the beginning when I was talking about the value of numbers. We look at numbers. It's not only about money. Numbers is not always about money. It's about, if we want to earn a certain amount of money, how many clients do we have to have? What do they need to be purchasing in order to get that many clients? How many people do we need to talk to? What kind of follow-up activities do we need to do? All that kind of stuff. These activities, which I like to call income-generating activities, these activities, which will eventually make us rich, are things that we haven't been doing because we haven't been working from home, or we weren't doing enough of, or we didn't quite know how to. When you work with me, we go all through that. We brainstorm everything. But in order to make a habit where there wasn't one before, so in order to get used to doing a certain thing, looking at a certain thing, approaching a certain thing in a certain way, we need to track what we're doing. That way we can also predict the future. Now, predicting the future is absolutely essential if you ever want to take time off, for example. So I went with my family to the UK this summer. We were there for 6.5 weeks. For us, that was a relatively short trip. Right? We normally stay longer than that, at least 2 or 3 weeks longer than that. We try and spend the whole summer there to be with our friends and our family. I don't want to be working as much while I'm there as I normally do, right? I did my lives because I love doing those, but I attended client meetings and I was there to help people, but my activities were severely restricted. Why? Because I wanted time for myself. How could I do that? Because I had predicted my future, right? So I had organized ahead to have it that way. And I knew that there'd be enough money coming in to, without getting new clients for a couple of months, to carry me through, right? That is the ability to predict into the future like that is an absolute game changer because it takes away a lot of stress. Everything that I teach you is about removing stress because stress will eventually wear you out, make you want to give up, make you think that you're no good. That's a horrible place to be. We don't want to be there. Stress is not good. So let's get rid of stress as early as we can. So one of the ways that we do that is by building up good habits. So we go through our activities, the daily activities that we are doing that we think are important, the daily activities that we think we should be doing. We look at them all to figure out which are actually income generating activities. And we plot time in our calendar to do those on a daily basis. In order to get into a habit, it's a good idea to track. If you're one of these people, and closet confession, I am myself, who watches planner videos on YouTube occasionally, you'll see all sorts of beautiful little habit trackers that people have designed. Now, they're good to get you to do something. That is a brilliant first step. Did I go for a run today? Did I take my supplements today? Did I drink 8 cups of water? Did I go to bed early? Whatever it is, it's great. And usually they're colored in and they look very pretty when they're colored in and you know whether you did something or not. So it gets you into the habit. That's step 1. Step 2, which is essential for business so that you can actually grow and so that you know how much effort is needed to achieve a certain thing, which is essential to being able to reduce the number of hours you work while increasing your income, is to measure exactly what you did using a number. So instead of saying, did I go for a run today or not? Yes, I went for a run. It'll be, how long did I run today? So you might put 30 if you ran for 30 minutes, or 10 if you ran for 10 minutes, something like that. You are tracking your activity. Then if you're trying to lose weight, you might find that a 30-minute run twice a week is actually more efficient than a 10-minute run 3 times a week, or a 15-minute run 3 times a week. You might find that that works better for you, but you won't know if you don't track it, if you don't actually have a number written down somewhere. So a number for that is useful. It could be, did I do it well? Did I do it badly? Did I do it? Yeah. You know, you can give yourself things to do from 1 to 5. Or you can count how many calls I made, how many clients I signed up, how much money I made that week. Now, the important thing is not the fact that you have written down a number or what the number is. The important thing is that you have a number which you can compare to another number at another time, right? So if you did 3 last week and you should have done 5, you know that if you do 4 this week and then you do 5 next week, you'll have hit your target. And then at some point you can build up to doing 6, and then you can build up to doing 7, etc., etc. That is how you grow a business. So it's absolutely essential not only to measure whether you actually did something or not, but how much of it you did, or how well you did it, or how big it was, or how long it took, something like that, so that you can compare it to next week. Because you don't want to know, yes, I called some clients. You want to know, now 3 weeks ago, I called 2 clients. and I signed one of them up. Now, last week, I called 3 clients and I still only signed one of them up. So how many clients do I need to call, or potential clients that would be, in order to sign a second person up? Is it 4? So the following week you call 4 and then you sign your second. So now you know that you can get 2 new clients by calling 4 people. Maybe you need to call 5 or 6 in order to get the next one. Maybe the next one won't close till 7, but you won't know these numbers unless you keep track of them while you're doing it. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, now if you reach out to me, and you can get me here, let me show you what my email address is. It is andrea@myhomebiz.tips, andrea@myhomebiz.tips, or you can call or text me on 858-252-1190. That's 858-252-1190. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. In fact, if you're really brave, you might want to make an appointment to talk to me. It doesn't have to be long. I know it's set for 45 minutes, but we don't have to talk for 45 minutes. That just gives us the time in case we need it. Calendly.com, Andrea Kuchin. And we will go through your activities and we will go through your day and we'll figure out what it is that you're doing that generates income and what doesn't. So let me give you a tip. Making your website pretty doesn't. Responding to client questions doesn't, right? But finding new people to talk to, that does. Following up with people, that does. Asking people for referrals, that does, right? Maybe putting an ad on Facebook does, but spending 3 days making the ad look pretty, not necessary. Okay, so there's a lot of things that people believe, people think, people have heard from somewhere. A lot of it's old. The world has changed in the last 2 years as well. Things no longer need to look so perfect or brilliant or polished. For support, jump into our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/gain and retain clients, because that is actually what we're doing, gaining and retaining clients. Your clients pay you, or your customers pay you, and you want them to stay with you yesterday. Yesterday, oh, my mouth's going faster than my brain. Yesterday, I had a conversation with a lovely gentleman who lives in Australia, and he's doing a similar thing to me. He's teaching people how to build relationships with clients, potential clients, past clients, in order to grow their businesses. So he's very much focused on training people to connect, to make these connections. You've heard me say before that connections are currency. The more connections you have, the more currency, in other words, the more money you will make. So one of your income generating activities could be spending some time on Facebook or LinkedIn, depending on where your audience is, connecting with people who could potentially become clients. Now, there's a lot of information that people have been taught about doing that, which no longer works. Some of it, I'm not sure ever worked, actually, to tell the truth. Some of it really probably never worked, which is why people give up, because they're doing something that then has not the result they want. Okay, I want you to always get the results you want. So this lovely gentleman that I was talking to in Australia yesterday was talking about how important it is to build relationships and how people don't know necessarily how to build relationships, and how customer service is absolutely essential. So getting these things right makes a difference. It is important to spend some time every day connecting with potential leads or prospects, asking past customers for referrals. And you know what? It's totally okay to do that. It's totally okay to reward them when somebody closes. Send them a greeting card. I send brownies or Starbucks cards to people to show that I'm grateful for the fact that they referred me to somebody. You know what happens then? First of all, I get a thank you for my thank you. And secondly, I'll get another referral. Not because they want more brownies, but just because I did something nice and that's important to them. So it's about relationship building. So maybe one of your things that you're counting is, how many people did I appreciate? How many people did I acknowledge today? You know, how many greeting cards did I send out? How many connections, new connections did I make on LinkedIn? You know, how many people did I say well done to? You know, how many people did I support? How many people did I open up and ask if I can help them? Because that's how you get to where you're going to be. So as those numbers go up, you will be earning more money because you're making more connections, more intimate connections. You're asking people if you can help them solve their problems. So you need to record it all. Now, the easiest way of doing that is on a spreadsheet. Write down the activities that you think you should be doing. Write down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at the top, and put a number in that totals up at the bottom. How many of them did I do? Now, the next day, if your number is bigger, you're up stat. Your statistics are up. That means your success is going to be up, right? You do that every day. Eventually, you'll get to the point where those little things that you're fussing about as well, those customer queries that you don't actually really have to do yourself because they're just asking you technical questions, or they're stuck on something that customer service department could deal with, or questions that come up about processes, or things that are automatic, sending invoices out or doing the bookkeeping at the end of the month. Those things you will be able to delegate, and you'll be able to focus your important time on the things that really matter and the things you enjoy. But you won't know what really matters. And actually, you won't even know what you really enjoy unless you're tracking everything. Okay, so track your habits. Get to know the best time of day to doing certain things. Get to know which activities have more impact on your business, and make sure that you schedule a time to do that in your calendar. So I go into my calendar the Thursday or Friday of the week before, and I block out time to do those certain things. Not the same time every day, because obviously, if I'm trying to talk to people who are always in their team production meeting on a Tuesday morning at 11, there's no point in trying to call them on a Tuesday morning at 11, is there? I know I'm never going to reach them. You will never be able to call me on a Tuesday morning at 11 because I'll be here. Okay, and I'm not going to answer the phone. My phone is not, it's out of order. It's out of action for this period of time, right? As it is when I'm meeting with my VA or I'm meeting with clients. So move those times around, be flexible with them, but track what you're doing. And if it's really like for you to track, find some things that are easy. Like, did I take my vitamins? Did I take the dog out for a walk? And then build up to, how many vitamins did I take? How long did I spend walking the dog? How many times did I take the dog out for a walk? Something like that. Did I eat sugar? No. Those are things that it's kind of easy for us to get our head around, stuff like that, because it's easy to understand. We can predict easily what the consequences are of doing things and not doing things when it comes to keeping fit or losing weight or something. That's why I use those as examples. But you have to translate that into running your business. Now, I don't know what your business is, darlings. I don't know what it is that you're doing, what benefit it is that you're giving to the world with your business. So reach out to me. Let's do some brainstorming. Let me help you figure this out. I am not going to bully you into working for me, I promise, or working with me, I promise. That's not the intention. The intention is to inspire, empower, and support people who are working from home. Because the more of us working from home, the better it'll be, and the easier it'll be for other people to start working from home. And if you're doing it and it's a success, reach out to me and let me interview you on my show so that you can share your glorious wisdom with other people who are coming up and trying to do the same thing. Okay, track everything you do. Figure out what's important. Figure out what makes an impact. Figure out what you could be delegating. Because when you know the numbers as well, you know that the delegating is going to be easy, because you'll know how long it's going to take somebody to do a certain thing, how many of something need to be done. So how long it's going to take to send out 100 emails, how many 100 emails need to be sent out in order to get that many people to attend a webinar or whatever it is. You'll be able to guide your assistant, the person who's working for you, so much more easily when you know exactly how much activity gets what kind of a result. It'll turn you into an absolute genius, and you'll be able to predict your future, because you'll know how much effort you put in today is going to get you the results you want next week, next month, and next year. Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you today. Thank you so much for joining me here. Any questions, email me. Where do you email me? You email me here, Andrea@myhomebiztips. You text me or you call me here, 858-252-1190. Or you join the Facebook group here, Gain and Retain Clients. How to get more clients and customers. How to keep more clients and customers. Because when you're keeping your clients and your customers, they're also a great referral source for you. Okay? So again, my name is Andrea Kuchin. This has been my Home Biz Tips. These are our Tuesday tips, the tips of the week on a Tuesday. And that's all I have time for today. So thank you so much for joining me here. Goodbye. Have a great day.